Hi everybody, welcome! Here on my channel I talk a lot about slow fashion, but in a way that's a little bit different than how it's typically talked about. Instead of talking only about buying from sustainable brands, I like to focus more on slowing down our consumption, shopping secondhand, and taking care of what we already have so that it can last as long as possible. I think it's a more practical way to live your life and a lot more inclusive to everybody, no matter our income or our body size. So if you've been feeling discouraged lately about sustainable fashion, I'd love for you to follow along and subscribe to my channel, because here we will always be talking about how to build a lasting wardrobe in a slow and thoughtful way, and how to take care of what we already have and be creative with our clothes. Leading right into today's video, which is all about some simple habits we could all start doing to make our clothes last as long as possible. If leading a sustainable life is important to you, trying to extend the life of your clothes is a really important way to contribute to that. It can be super disappointing when we buy some new clothes and then after wearing them for a few months, they'll already look really tired and worn out. Especially if we paid good money for these clothes, it can feel like a waste of resources and a waste of our hard-earned money. So today, let's talk about a few simple habits we could start to avoid that. Number one is to start washing our clothes as little as possible. I know that could sound a little bit strange, especially here in America, where we're used to washing something as soon as we are done wearing it, but in reality, things don't get dirty that much. And unless your clothes are smelling really bad or have a huge stain on them, if you just wore them one time, you can just put them right back in your closet and they're good to go for a second wear. If you do get a stain, try to spot clean it right away, or just take it over to the sink and just try to wash the spot that has the stain. You don't actually need to wash the whole garment if it's just a small spot. Washing our clothes breaks down the fibers over time and stretches out the fabric, so if we can avoid doing that, it'll make our clothes last much longer. Moving on to number two, which is kind of on the same topic, and that is to try to wash your clothes on warm or cold, especially if it's a delicate garment. And always check the tag on your clothes and it will tell you what to wash it on. After you do wash them, try to hang them to dry if you have a spot in your house, because again, drying shrinks the fabric a little bit and kind of breaks down the fibers. So if you can air dry, that will ensure that your clothes will last much longer. Number three is to try to get in the habit of wearing a base layer under all your sweaters. That way, if you do sweat, most of that will just go on the undershirt and you can just throw that in the wash. And then your more delicate sweater will be spared the need to be washed, and that can make it last longer. When you are done wearing your clothing for the day, try to not throw them into a heap on the floor. It's really great to get into the habit of putting your clothes away after you're done wearing them if they are not dirty. Things like jeans you can turn inside out to air them out. Sweaters that are made from natural fibers can just be turned inside out also and just hung over a chair or even on a hanger overnight, and that will air them out really nicely, and if there is any kind of sweat smell, that usually will go away by morning. The next habit to implement is to try to clean your shoes and clothes after the end of a season to prepare them for the next season to come. I like to use a sweater shaver to shave off any pills that my sweaters might have, and if they are dirty, I'll give them a wash. I usually wash my knit sweaters about once a year, honestly, unless they get really dirty over the course of me wearing them. And that's really all it takes for them to stay nice and clean. And after you're done wearing your shoes for the season, give them a nice cleaning and put them away neatly, maybe even inside of a dust bag. And that will keep them looking great when the season comes around again and they'll be ready for you to wear them. Regularly checking our clothes for rips or tears and making small repairs as needed is another great habit to start getting into. If a seam comes apart, it's really simple just to stitch it up with a needle and thread, and then it will be looking good as new again. And just accepting that our clothes don't have to look like new all the time, that's really not realistic, and being okay with them getting a little bit older. You can still wear them for many different occasions, maybe not to a fancy dinner or something, but we can still wear clothes that are a little bit older. That leads us right into the next habit, which is to try to repurpose your old and worn out clothes. Having a small collection of clothes that you use for hiking, gardening, or camping is a great way to extend the life of your old worn out clothes, just so that they don't end up in a landfill before they need to. For these more rugged activities, you wouldn't want to wear any nicer clothes anyways, So saving your older, worn out clothes is a great way to repurpose them. And my bonus tip here is to try to buy natural fibers if you can. Natural fibers like cotton, linen, wool, and silk tend to age much better than things like polyester, and they can last much longer in your wardrobe. It's pretty rare to find a good quality polyester shirt that's more than a few years old, but you can regularly find cashmere, wool, or cotton pieces that are many years old and they still look brand new. But let me know in the comments what kind of fabrics you guys have hanging in your closets. I know I do actually have a few old H&M pieces that are made from polyester that are 3 or 4 years old still. The only reason why they lasted this long for me is that I've tried to take care of them as good as I can. I always try to hang them to dry, and I kind of stretch them out so that they don't get twisted. The reason why I'm trying to extend their life is that I know after I'm done wearing them, they're probably going to end up in the landfill because they're going to be pretty worn out and no one's really going to want to wear them anymore. There's not much resale value in polyester, unfortunately. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, could you hit that like button? Because that's a great way to let me know that you liked it. And I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye!